What's going on, everyone? We're live here. I've got some amazing dudes here. So we've got ourselves Bill Martlink, sales director at World of Books. We got David Chung, owner of Dream Books. We got obviously Avery Romer the Romer, and we're just gonna have a good time, hang out here, see what's going on in each other's businesses. I mean, all these, these three guys combined have sold tons of books for a lot of revenue, and they're all going to be at Books and Beyond speakers and just there to network with people. So. Welcome, guys, to the stage. What's going on?
I just made this thumbnail for my YouTube channel. I'm using Bill as clickbait. Biggest seller on eBay, top 10 on Amazon interview. So hopefully that'll get some people in here.
That's great.
Nice.
GPT.
The other thing that brings all three of us together, I got to say, is each one of you three have had an invitation behind the closed doors into the warehouse. And all three of you, each of you, have not taken me up on it. So, just want to remind you.
I will say, my excuse is two young kids. However, let's see what David and let's see what Avery's excuse is.
I want to plan a trip out there, so I'll hopefully be out there in October sometime.
All right,
that's great.
Fair. Avery,
excuse for going to Books and Beyond.
No excuse for not seeing Bill's warehouse.
Oh, not seeing his warehouse. Oh, yeah. What is my excuse? I got married.
It was a really cool engagement. I'll give you that. That was like one of the
Bill
best.
Was mad at me secretly for a while, and then he texted me like, "Congrats! Like I'm gonna forgive you" or something like
that.
We got Ron in the chat. Legendary group of guys. Obviously, he's talking about you three. We got Terry in the house saying, "What's up, guys?" And we have Thrifty Trotter. What's up from Tennessee?
All right.
Avery, you bought in Tennessee, right? That's where you're.
Yeah, Murfreesboro, just south of Nashville.
Okay, sounds good. We got Jaime in the house. Jaime just hit 100,000 on the year with OA, online book arbitrage.
Holy cow!
Congrats.
That's awesome.
And then Michelle just hit 100K today as well. A lot of people hitting 100K right now because of textbook season.
So.
Yeah.
Got to celebrate those milestones whenever you make, we always set goals, right? And that's important in life to like, A, set them, manifest them, write them down. But B, it's even better to achieve them. And then C, most importantly, to celebrate them. So kudos. I will tip back my nice Coca-Cola from one dude to another. Cheers.
Looks like
water right here.
Yeah, I just got regular plain H2O water.
I got a 2-hearted IPA ready to go, but I'm gonna hit the gym, so I don't know if I want to be on the sprinter bike 1 beer deep. So I've done
it. The gym. I was there this morning. I was there this afternoon. Like I don't need to go a third time today.
So Thrifty Trotters in between Memphis and Jackson, just so you know, in Tennessee.
Memphis has some good books.
And Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah, one time I went to a library in Memphis, and it was when I first started, and they just had pallets of textbooks. And I was drooling, and they didn't let me. They let me go through like one, and I was just finding like $100 profit books. But I remember like I always wanted to like land that library deal because I heard about Caleb doing the library deals, and I got to get this library in Memphis, but never pursued it. What were you gonna say, David?
I was gonna say it seems like East Coast just has a crazy concentration of good books, like all the way from New England all the way down south to Florida. It's just a gold mine, treasure trove of.
Well, when you're not in sunny Southern California, where it's always between 65 and 75, and it's raining outside, bad weather, what are you gonna do but read books, right?
Well, New England is the best when you think about it. It's got all three of the major important things, right? For one, it's got population density. I think Pittsburgh, or very close to it, is the population center. Where like within 500 miles, is something like 110 million people. But anyway, the East Coast is like super dense. B, you have affluency, right? Lots of big homes, lots of big colleges, whatever. C, and then of course you got the academics with the colleges and stuff. So you got like the trifecta of all three things that you want to get. And so kudos to anybody hunting books in the East Coast area, because like that's like if you could create all three, you got them over there. So
yeah. I thought you were gonna say, and 3, you have really crappy weather.
Sure. So of course you're home, like Joji said, in the winter. What else you got to do?
Yeah. Of course,
I'm just. That's probably plays a factor too, where you have like a more concentrated donation stream between, say, March and August, September, October. Yeah, it starts to get nasty, probably like October, November there. So yeah, got 6-7 months. So
What do you think of this comment, David? So Jaime just hit 100,000 OA book sales, and he says, "No excuses. I'm a full-time college student working part-time night shifts at Amazon that pays for my college with my side book business."
Wait, so Jaime's stealing books from Amazon's warehouse? Is that what he's
I know,
saying?
right? No, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, Jaime, well done, man. I was able to graduate debt-free because just hustling on college campus, and looks like you're doing the same. So congrats to you, man. I definitely didn't do 100,000 in revenue as a college student though, so that's killing it.
For me, back in the late 20 aughts, I think I peaked at like, while I was in college, maybe like 50 or 60,000 doing it part time. But that was big money for me back then.
Yeah.
I paid my way through school off that too. So
think about this way, Jaime, go ahead.
Well, my college actually, I think I did like probably 2,000, maybe 3,000. It felt like 20,000 back then. Like it felt like so much money. I remember I asked my dad for a $700 loan to buy some textbooks from all the people on campus, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy." 3 years later, I asked him for a $30,000 loan, doing the similar thing. We were buying chlorine instead, but actually, one of my most successful consignment clients, even considering Amazon sellers that would send me their textbooks when I ran restricted inventory, was my college. And so my college sent me over 30 grand of books that I sold, and I probably made 10, 15 grand, which I think covered the cost of my college. So that was nice.
Think about it this way too, and that's a great story, Avery. We all have like nice origin stories back in the day that helped us propel, that like little turning point. Think about it this way though, Jaime. You have a distinct advantage over, I'd say 95, 98%, definitely most of your fellow graduates is that they're all going to be heavily laden in debt. And that's a burden that's going to be 10, 20, 30 years past their graduation time. So the more you can narrow that down to zero, like Joji, $3,000 like myself, zero like Romer. I forget David, but pretty darn close to zero, right? If not zero. So like
for college debt.
Yeah, when you graduated.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I had no debt.
Yeah. So you're planning on house money there, right? Like, you don't want to then be like supercilious with your money. You still want to be very prudent and very cautious with it, but you have an advantage that most don't, because they're going to be for the next big while of their time, they're going to be facing that interest payment, and you don't. So you have some money to play around with, is my point.
Yeah, you'll just go in debt selling on Amazon.
Likely, but that's okay.
You'll
This is
just
your new college.
cards.
This is your master's degree.
Suzanne says, might have to look hard for books in Florida. Personally, I've never sourced there, but I'm sure there's competition everywhere, but maybe in Florida it's a little bit more difficult. But we also have Ron. Shout out to Dave Can Read, Romer the Romer, and Joji. Not too familiar with Bill, but shout out to World of Books. So
neither are most of my friends, and that's okay, but it's worth a follow at Bill Martlink on Instagram or anywhere. And I'm fun, I'm funny, and worthwhile. So, but love to meet you, Ron. Love to talk. Fine.
So who officially, I think it's hands down, right, Bill? You've been selling books before David, right? Even though David, I know you have like 2 decades as well, right? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like I started with a box of books and some other stuff on e-commerce, just like 1996 unofficially. And then, like fully committed to books in, well, I guess 2002-ish, but like I was selling books 1998, 1999, but not knowing what I was doing. So yeah, like it's when I first started like trying to find books, but just didn't have like a path. I just said, I'm going to try to make some money. So.
Yeah. And then David, did you start with early 2000s, right? I think for you.
I started 2008 officially.
Oh, 2008. Okay.
Yeah. But my dad was selling books before that. And so I was helping him out in high school in like 2005, 2006. But kind of like Bill, I had no idea what I was doing. We had no idea what we were doing. It was just like the Wild West back then. It's just like, it was like you just stumble a few steps and you just find thousands of dollars worth of books and you can just sell them blindfolded. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Way less demand, way less technology, but kind of a lot more fun.
We got Miami Sellers Conference, Prep Center, Tim Neal. We got Omer with UPC or with Booksy Pro in the house. Wise words from a wise man. I think he's talking about Bill.
He said men. He was including all of us. I think. It was a plural. It was a plural men.
You have to look hard for books in Florida, says somebody. Nathan Holmquist, the creator of ScanLister, he wrote a blog post that inspired me back in the day, where he had a sourcer that he would pay $1 or $2 per book in addition to the cost of the book, and he found like 40,000 books in like a 2-year period or 1-year period, just paying them to go out in Florida and find books. So I think it really depends on where you're at.
Yeah, I think small world too, by the way, Romer. I like literally sourced back in the day with Nathan. So he started in Chicago and had big dreams of starting a software company, and like we talk and we'd go out to eat. I remember a time at Famous Dave's, unfortunately not this Dave, but it was we had a great time growing up and coming up in the industry together, and we've both done some cool things. So
yeah, I think also something to realize is like this business model, if you're cherry picking books, going out to thrift stores, it's extremely location dependent. Like you can make $300 an hour if you live in Maryland or Washington, D.C. or one of those states in the Northeast. And then other states can be good too. It just depends, like we have some of the largest used bookstores down here in Tennessee. And if you live near it and you put the work in, you can really pull out a lot of profit. But if you live in the middle of nowhere in Kansas, like you're probably not going to make that much cherry picking. So like when you hear us say like make books selling on Amazon, there's nuance to it, and location's a huge thing.
I agree in the sense that some areas are better than others, Romer, but like I disagree in the sense that people in Kansas and etc. are super dependent only on that, because ultimately it becomes incumbent on someone controlling the source and getting as close to the donation stream as they can, and creating a proprietary, like a value add. What do thrift stores need? What do estate sales need? What's the value that you as an individual or you as a group or you as a seller or a reseller can add to everyone's particular other business, right? Think about your own business for a second. You don't sit around saying, oh boy, I can't wait to help other businesses. No, you worry about number one. You worry about surviving. You worry about fitting in and the next day, the next month, the next quarter, the next year, etc. But on the other hand, someone comes to you and says, hey, Bill, hey, Romer, hey, Dave, hey, Joji, I can solve some of your problems here. You suck at this, or you don't like this, or what do you suck at, or what don't you like? What can I help with, right? Yeah, books are a burden. They're heavy, they're ugly, they're smelly, they're moldy, they're dusty. Achoo, right? Get rid of them.
Most people suck at fulfilling on their word. They say, I'll call you next Tuesday. They say, I'm going to come pick up these books. They come up with an excuse. So most people are going to think you're full of shit when you're first talking to them. But if you stay consistent, then you will be a solution to the problem. But most people think you're going to be even a more burden to the current problem.
That's why you got to take that first one and you got to coddle it like the biggest, baddest baby, like me. You got to coddle it like me. You got to worry about it all the time. And then you can let it grow.
Not to mention, there's the whole online arbitrage, online sourcing model too, where you can be in the middle of, in another country even, and just go through a prep center and make money that way.
True.
Yeah. We had Tristan come to Books and Beyond last year. He's from Australia.
That's right.
I know we have a couple people sourcing in France and definitely quite a few in Canada as well. Yeah, you could do it as long as you have a prep center in the United States. That's really all you need.
What was that guy's name? Was it OG or something like that?
Yeah. I think was it Serbia? I forget where.
No, it was like Croatia or Serbia or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he did like 600K with online book arbitrage living in a different country.
Wild.
Just crazy that's even possible when you think about it.
It is.
We have Karen in the house saying, hey guys, keep dropping nuggets. Had some success at the library sale last weekend. So shout out to Avery, more than likely, with the content there.
We've got a follow, by the way, Ron. I got a follow by the Mr. Ronald Francis. I have to assume it's you. So thank you, sir.
Yeah. Fluffy Colors. What's the biggest mistake that costs you the most money in your Amazon journey? Oh, that's a loaded question, because
how long
anything that leads to suspension, right? Because that's just deactivating your selling privileges for however long. I think in total I've been shut down over the last 17 years, like a total of 2 months through suspensions. And so, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. I've been suspended before back in like 2020, and that was a couple of months. I wasn't doing the volume that David was doing, but yeah, I mean the opportunity loss for sure. And then I did at that time pay like a lawyer to try to help me write a plan of action, which I think costs a couple grand. So I'd say that was the worst, but mainly like David said, the opportunity cost of not having the ability to sell is what loses you more money.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I'd add to that, like one of the arsenals you need to have in your weapons of selling on Amazon is good connections with other sellers who have been through it and good account health specialists, because what worked 3 years ago doesn't work today. And Amazon's really not being clear on what they want from us, but what's working is like very clear. And so there's like this whole unspoken thing that like, this is what's going to work for brand on Gates. This is what's going to work for, and like, they want all these things when you talk to the experts that really know what they're doing. And you're like, why didn't Amazon tell me that they wanted all this information, like email supply chain, PDFs, explaining all the documents you're uploading, things on the invoices, how you display everything. Like, it's like, why wouldn't Amazon tell us we want it? And I think part of the reason why they don't tell us is there's so many bad actors out there. The bad actors would catch on like that. So they'd rather us just kind of talk to each other and figure it out ourselves. So
definitely. You nailed it on that last one. Here's the fun part about mistakes. I'd love to tell you all the mistakes that I've made and that we've all made collectively. There's no right mistakes and there's no wrong mistakes, in the sense that like I can't share my mistakes so that you don't make them, right? Like that's a bad way to be. And being paralyzed or being fearful of making mistakes is like a terrible way to be, because like if I was to say, don't do this, don't do that, and there's some like obvious ones like that are, hey, bonehead, don't be a dummy, don't be stupid, that's up. But like if I could relive all the bad mistakes I've made and the collective that we've all made, like I'm glad I made them, because they set the course on the right ship, and they've all been learning experiences. They've all been learning opportunities. So like if we didn't make those, and you always learn the most when you're at your worst, in my opinion. And a mistake is great as long as you learn from it. If you keep repeating it, then you're back in the dummy side. You're back in the dummy. You're back in the stupid person side. Like that's no way to be. So make mistakes. Don't be paralyzed by them. Learn from them. And like the cool thing is in business and in life, like you don't have to be right all the time. Ask my wife, ask my friends, ask everybody I work with, right? I make tons of mistakes. The cool part is I make just many more good choices that far outweigh, right? When I make my mistakes, they're small, methodical, calculated bets.
Yeah.
They're not big bets. I'm not betting the farm. I'm not betting the house saying, I hope this works. This is the time it's going to pay off. No. It's just small incremental things that if it don't work, guess what? Can't buy another fancy X shirt or whatever this is tomorrow. Okay, no big deal, right? One less Coca-Cola, one less Starbucks. Yeah, X, what Under Armour. Well, I don't care. I know it is. Anyway, you get the point, right? Small little bets, right? So then when I make some good choices, they far outweigh, and then I can buy 5 of these if I want to, because guess what? That was a good decision. I let data drive the results. So don't be paralyzed by mistakes. Don't be fearful that you're going to make them, because you are going to make them. Guess what? You are. And that's good. Learn from them and move on. End of rant.
Well said. The cool thing is that if you guys show up to Las Vegas, October 10th through 12th, you could get that whole spiel in person, literally sitting right across from Bill. So one of the reasons why we're here is not just to also kick back, but also just to kind of come together and really just kind of, look forward to Books and Beyond. So last year, David and Bill were there. Their speakers, as obviously was Avery and I. And so Books and Beyond is coming back to Las Vegas, October 10th through 12th. It's a great time. You can look at the speaker lineup here. We definitely have some new speakers this year, bringing back David and Bill, of course, because they really it's hard to find guys at their level that are willing to share information. And so always welcome to have them, and so super, grateful for them to come back. But basically, we've got a bunch of speakers, and booksandbeyond.com. If you guys are interested in coming, it's just going to be a great time. Again, going down to Vegas. So,
plus, you forgot to mention the 22-minute standing ovation for David and the 22.5-minute standing ovation for me.
Exactly.
And flying, throwing roses. It was like everybody hugged. It was incredible. No, the energy was amazing. And I think no matter what level that you're at, you will come away with a lot of takeaways that will help your business. It's a solid investment to grow, to learn, and to make new connections and to make new friends. So, Highly advised.
Can I go back to something Avery said too? Just like connections, right? You're going to make mistakes, but having the connections to not necessarily even bail you out of those mistakes, but even just like share their experience. I've run across so many people who've gotten their accounts suspended, and even people that I like know, like close family friends that have been in the book business. And like I'll talk to them, and I'll be like, "Hey, how's your book business going?" And they're like, "Oh, really bad. We've been suspended for 8 months." And I was like, why didn't you tell me? Like I could help you get through this. And of course, like after, walking them through the process, they were able to, get their account back within a month. But it just like not having the connections, not asking for help. I think like events like books and beyond or any other conferences are invaluable just from like the connections you can make. And even just on social media, like getting active on the Facebook groups and reaching out to people on Instagram, like all those little actions can pay out big time when you're stuck.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, well said. Let's see. We've got some more comments. We've got Thrifty Trotter binge watching all of our videos, trying to figure things out as a brand new seller.
Just got a friend
And-
request from the same emoji / person. So look forward to me clicking that button in, I don't know, 3-4 hours when we're done with this live event. Right?
Yeah.
How long is this going for?
Yeah, we'll definitely be live for close to an hour at least.
I'm going to midnight.
Yeah. They also said, not sure if I jumped in too fast. They already got 2 large estate sale cleanouts of books and going Thursday for several boxes of books from a thrift store going out of business. I think that's just called action. I don't know about you guys. I think that's just called action. He's
I love
getting some work done. So congrats. That's awesome. Let's see. We also have Tim. So Tim, you said was a prep center, right? At Miami Sellers Conference. Says we have a lot of people reaching out for book prep and is asking what's a reasonable charge. So Little Hour Prep charges $1.85 for prep. Central Virginia Prep charges $2.25. So I'd say high ones to low to mid twos is probably typical there. And good question from Fluffy Colors. What do you guys do with your profits? Do you guys reinvest 100% of the profits? Do you pay yourself along the way? Do you invest in retirement accounts? Do you buy fancy yachts? What do you guys do?
Right now, I'm taking 10% of my profit and putting it half in crypto, half in whatever Nancy Pelosi buys. I have an automated autopilot that buys whatever she buys. It's just like 10 stocks, and they're all big companies. So that's what I'm doing, and I was saving cash before that, and so now I'm like, the idea is to dollar cost average in my cash, but I'm actually just still pulling profits and keeping the cash. I think we've all been through like financial hardship, and then once you've been through it, you like to have like cash set aside. So it definitely makes me feel good to have that. But on the Amazon side, I reinvest most of my profits still. We're still growing. And the way I look at it in my business is it ebbs and flows. And so there's going to be times where, our suppliers don't have as much inventory, or you can't buy for whatever reason. And then that's in my head, like the natural break where you get a lot of your profit, pulled out. But I track my profit on a monthly basis, and I invest about 10%. So that's what I'm doing now.
Here's the fun part. When you're starting off, fundamentally, book selling is super easy because you can buy something for $0.25, buy something for $1, sell it for $20, sell it for $50, sell it for $100, get it for free. It's just a cost of time, and sell it for $50, $100. I get it. ROIs sometimes are crazy, especially with a software I know called Bookmine. You can buy something online and have it come to you and sell it seasonally, at the right time. Little plug for my friends.
And while you buy it on Bookmine, you can support World of Books or Dream Books as well. So you can support those guys or any other bulk bookseller as well.
Exactly. The thing is, as you progress and you say, "Oh boy," no, depending on what type of business you have, let's say you need a better scanner, a better Zebra printer, a better laser printer, a better thermal printer, a better warehouse, a forklift, et cetera, a sourcing van, a sourcing truck, you name it, a tilter, a dumper. I could go on and on, but these things cost money. These are assets that you need to acquire. So essentially, and maybe you want to keep it small and just have, some house stuff, some shelves and what have you. But regardless, whatever the asset is as you go along the way, that first year or two, and sometimes even 3, like you might just feel like you're in quicksand where you just kind of catch your breath for a minute and then rug pulled, because like you understand, if I only had this, I'd be 10% more efficient, or I could be 15% better stock, or I could hold 20% more items. And so you reinvest in the business, and you almost feel like you're going nowhere. And it really like blows your mind sometimes to look back. On the other hand, like that's progress. And so you have to, there's no real like get rich quick with this world. You might catch lightning in a bottle here and there, like we tended to do back in 20 years ago, 15 years ago. But again, it was a different world. And these one-offs like are not a way to base your business to say this is going to happen. These are nice, lucky things that fall your way. The universe has smiled friendly upon you. You take it, and you just, are very cautious with it and very prudent with it. But at the end of the day, reinvest what you can, pay yourself what you can, live very modestly, and just know your numbers. At the end of the day, you have to know your numbers. And that's
I think knowing your numbers is like half the battle. Like once you start tracking on a monthly basis, you could do a cash basis or accrual, whichever makes you feel better. But cash basis is probably more realistic. And then you see on a month-to-month basis, like how much net you really made. And then I think everyone I know who's like in debt and not good with money, like doesn't even know how much debt they have. And they're terrible at like telling me like how much credit cards they have or how much they spend each month. But everyone I know who has a lot of money can tell me like to the T how much they didn't profit. And I guarantee you, once you start looking at that, you're probably not doing as good as you thought you are, but give it 3 months and not even like consciously doing anything, it's going to happen automatically. You're going to change your decisions and try to increase revenue, try to decrease cost, all that just happens.
It was a big tipping point for me once I finally understood my numbers and how I could do less by doing more.
Yeah.
And
even when it's painful, like if you have tons of debt, like that's the best time to do it. And just like, it's going to really hurt and suck for a while, but I guarantee you'll make better decisions as time goes on.
Hey, Joji, were you the one a few years ago? Profit First, that's you, right? Profit First, dude, changed my life.
Really? Let's go.
Yeah. Like,
That's awesome.
So the question was, what do you do with the profits?
Yeah.
I pay. Number one, I pay myself. I get paid, baby.
Yeah. You're the most important person.
Yep, I make sure I get paid, and then I think from there, just having cushion earmarked for the business, and also like a rainy day for personal, and then after that, making sure you're putting into long-term savings, whether it's saving up for a house, college, retirement, and then after that, any sort of investments or any type of like, I don't know, enjoyment, like discretionary spending. So yeah, I'd say like right now.
Are you doing like the thing where it's an account balance and you take a couple % of it? Do you want to share those numbers and like how you're calculating what you put?
So I kind of run it a little bit differently. So I have like this master spreadsheet where I keep track of our cash on hand and just our total cash flow. Love it. And every month I have distributions earmarked in there. And so I know on this day I can pull this amount out and that's it, and just meticulously tracking that. And then also just having the courage to say, hey, you know what? I deserve this. I'm going to pay myself. And then figuring out how to make the rest of the business run on the leftovers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so as long as you're paying yourself a reasonable amount, you're not trying to pay yourself 80% of the gross profit, which would be impossible, right? So just paying yourself first. I'd say like in terms of reinvesting profits, something that I'm really excited about right now is just investing in other people and investing in other companies. I don't know about you guys, but I've definitely been, using dollars as sort of my voting chips and like investing in friends' businesses and, opportunities where I think that there's growth. So that's been super exciting for me.
This is the book that David was talking about, Profit First. Pretty sure you could pick it up probably from Dream Books or World of Books, honestly, for
World of Books.
Oh yeah. And it's a great.
We just sold out.
Yeah, definitely a great book. I'd recommend reading it. It's a really good question. I think it's depends on what stage you're in. Like definitely if you're in the beginning stage where you don't have much capital, it probably makes sense to try to just, add, oxygen to the fire and just get it going and try to reinvest as much as you can. But there's definitely going to be at some tipping point where, yeah, you want to start paying yourself in the terms, in the form of a profit or owner's compensation. And then, one thing that I've done, and I'm a very conservative person. So for me, when I started this, I was always like, okay, well, Amazon's an amazing income generator, but I don't really see it as a wealth generator because I don't have control of the asset versus like my goal was always like, okay, how can I use Amazon as a way to make as much money as possible so that I can then take that and invest it into an asset that I have control over, which would be stocks like the S&P 500 or into a home or something like that. Yeah. So
I think
it definitely
helps. Like I think you should track your net worth on a monthly basis too. And starting out, you can feel blind, especially in online arbitrage books, which I've done in the past. Any inventory based business, when you're constantly pouring money into inventory, it feels like you never have money in the bank. And so you feel like your bank's going down, which it is. So you feel like your net worth is going down when in reality it's not. And you don't want to count your chickens before they hatch. But so you do want to be very, very conservative with this number. But I think having a number for your total inventory valuation is going to be huge. Like what your total buy costs are. Not to plug GoToLister, but we actually tell you that. Like if you put in all your cogs into
very
there,
smooth,
one number, yeah. Or just use a spreadsheet, whatever it is. Maybe you don't track your cogs, but then you can at least see, okay, I have $10,000 in inventory, and I have X amount in stocks. I have X amount in cash, and then you look at your net worth, and you can see, okay, there's this much in the stock market. There's this much in cash. There's this much in inventory. Maybe you could add your car on there, which is like depreciating. It's always going to go down. And then you can put your house on there, which is appreciating. And so you want more like appreciating assets, and you don't want too much money on Amazon because that's a lot of risk. And so if that net worth distribution, because you can always take money and put it back into Amazon inventory. If that number gets hyperinflated, maybe you should take a step back and say, how can I sell this? And then like take the cash and put it somewhere else. Because like if you just run the numbers, it's always the best bet to put more money in inventory if you know what you're doing. Like it's always the best bet, but it comes with a lot of risk. You don't know if the account shutdown is going to happen. Maybe you're not as good as you think you are yet. Maybe you get restricted or whatever. And so it is risky. So that really helped me, like tracking those numbers and having like one number for inventory valuation.
Absolutely. All right. I want to kind of pivot a little bit back to books and beyond because we do have some new speakers this year. And I'm curious, David and Bill, if you know any of these people. So obviously we got Avery up there, but
I know him. I met him.
You met him once or twice, right?
Once or twice, yeah.
Yeah, once or twice. I'm really excited to bring Michelle. So Michelle is somebody who actually came from Victor's Facebook group. And Victor was working with her for, I think, 3 or 4 years, but she just finally hit 100,000 on the year. I think it was literally today or yesterday. And yeah.
Oh, so she the one that posted in the group?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So she's a stepmom of 2, works in the banking industry and just does this on the side and does Amazon to Amazon book flips. So I'm really excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I also want to say that normally it is harder to find women that are willing to come out and, and kind of share information like this, but there definitely are women doing it. And so Michelle's one of those women doing it. So I'm just excited because she definitely sheds light on the possibility that it's not like only the guys can do this. Like, the women are out there strong and doing it as well. So I'm really proud of her to come forward and do it. So a lot of fun. But do you guys know Michelle? I'm probably, I don't know.
I do not, but come 56 days or whatever it is, October, whatever, 10th, 12th.
October 10th.
12th?
Yeah, October 10th through 12th. Yeah, you'll be able to
go back. Wait, could you scroll? I just want to see those sponsors real quick.
Yeah, let's go see those. Let's go see those sponsors real quick.
Okay.
Was it? There we go.
Oh,
nice.
Wow, that middle one, such a beautiful logo. Okay.
World of Books, right in the center, right there. I know. So World of Books, again, very grateful to Bill and World of Books, the team, for coming through with sponsorship of Books and Beyond, which is just awesome. And yeah, obviously Bill will be there, and you'll be able to ask some questions. I know a lot of people from our community buy books from you, but yeah, thanks so much, Bill, for pulling through there. It means a lot. So that's cool.
Glad we could get done this time. So
yeah, and
more than just me.
Yeah. We also got thrift books as well. So
Nice.
thrift books coming through, which is also going to be very exciting. And a lot of people in our space, online book arbitrage, buy books and thrift books as well. And I don't know, are you guys? I'm sure David, you and Bill are more connected with the bulk sellers like thrift books, but I don't know. Or do you guys know of them, or in terms of like on a personal basis?
Who's coming out from thrift? Do you know?
I want to say we do have the information for the person who did the sponsorship, but I don't remember off the top of my head right now. But I can find that real quick.
Okay.
But let me find it real quick. But yeah, so thrift books is coming out. Really exciting. Some bulk booksellers gonna be there, but let's see. I'll find it here in a second.
Yeah, no worries. I was gonna say I'm impressed with the diversity of speakers that you have. It's it's not all a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, it looks like a really great lineup this year. Not last year, but yeah, we took the best from last year.
You guys want the Wiener Fest? Come to Miami Sellers Conference.
A little rough.
Hugo Monday. You know Hugo?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know Hugo. I'm curious to meet him.
But I mean, at like World of Books, thrift books is also huge. So yeah, just going to be an awesome, even for me being one of the co-organizers, to be able to meet, guys like David and Bill and Hugo. I mean, it's something that wouldn't even be possible if this didn't exist. So as somebody who's an attendee who doesn't have to do any of the planning, you just have to show up. I mean, you also get sort of access to those people.
Just don't fuck it up, and it'll be a good event, and he'll think you're awesome.
Exactly. Of course, we got Bookmine, Go-To-Lister, Replay and Catcher also, sponsoring as we're, putting.
Dude, this is going to sound so crazy, Joji. Can you go down to your name?
Yeah. Let's see. Right here. Yeah.
Ooh.
Where it says co-founder, is that the zero? Is that a 0 or O?
No, that's so you're the first person to find out that that's actually an Easter egg. So yeah, that is actually a 0.
Okay.
So the question is, what does that actually mean? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, co-founder, but we do have Victor here as well, and Victor's is not like that. So
yeah.
Employee 0.
Yeah, I think you might have to show up to Books and Beyond and know what the meaning behind that is. But wow, okay. David, that's pretty.
Was that planned?
That was definitely planned.
No, that's just me being crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Avery, break out the prop. I told you. Oh, forgot to mute. Shoot.
Yeah, we did a call before this too.
I'm gonna hand you the drink. Here you go. He's gonna come in.
We got Jen Fritz.
So Steve, obviously a co-organizer, does a lot of eBay to Amazon, not entirely books. So he's a percentage of his eBay to Amazon, flipping his books, but he's also bringing some other people from his community, eBay to Amazon, Jen being one of them. So, she's a former research scientist, a homeschool mom of 6, doing $60K, just flipping eBay to Amazon, just as a side hustle on the side. So again, just, really happy to have Jen there. And I'm sure you guys are going to be meeting her for the first time in person. So
I like how on the right side, you have like research scientists, and I'm not sure what the person above Michelle, she's risk management at a bank, and then you got Avery, former wrestler.
Former wrestler. Yep. It is what it is, right?
And at events, there's sometimes current wrestler, like Miami Seller Conference.
Yep. We're also bringing Steve. Steve also is going to be coming back speaking as well, and also Amanda Ballard. So she's primarily selling on Walmart now, which is interesting because Walmart actually has book listings. I don't know if you guys knew that, but there are actually quite a number of textbooks listed on Walmart. Not that I'm thinking that it's going to be another source of selling books in a large chunk or something in the future of your books would go there. But it's just interesting that even Walmart has textbooks, like Campbell Biology, for example, is on there. Kind of crazy. So we'll have Amanda there. And then you guys also know Amanda DiMartino, right? Resale Maven. So she
was in Miami, right?
She was
Or like
actually
2
Books
years
Beyond
ago?
last year.
Oh, Books and Beyond last year. Right.
Yep. And so she's a Whatnot bookseller. So she takes, which is really interesting to the bulk booksellers. I mean, anyone who does thrifting and library sales, but she's taking really popular fiction books that you can't really sell on Amazon because of the fees, and then selling them for $4 or $5. And then the buyer pays for shipping on top of it. And the fees
That's
is for like
awesome.
13%. So she can sell a book for like $4 or $5 and net like, $3.50 or $4. Kind of crazy, honestly. So just a really cool way to sort of offload what we call quote duds as Amazon booksellers. So
That's awesome. Yeah.
Of course, we got Victor Gallegos coming back, and another co-founder of BookMine, and also co-organizer of this event as well. And by the way, I did want to let everyone know, Victor and I are going live with Michelle tomorrow at 5 p.m. PST. So if you guys want to hang out with Michelle and Victor and I, then feel free to do that. All right. We already know this guy over here on the right, Bill. I think he's actually here with us right now, but we got the sales director from World of Books. So again, really grateful and excited to have Bill come back and talk about, data-driven decisions.
It's a whole new talk this year, actually.
And then we got Aaron Worley coming back. He was actually at Books and Beyond last year. He's, again, another eBay to Amazon seller, but he was an attendee last year. He was actually on one of the panels, but basically in the last 12 months has done 900K just flipping from eBay to Amazon. And I'm pretty sure he uses Frank from Little Owl Prep. So, which reminds me, we also, Avery, we have to get Little Owl Prep as a sponsor as well. They just sponsored, I think, yesterday. So we got to get them up on the website.
Yeah.
So Aaron Worley has I think he has 3 kids as well, and just killing with eBay to Amazon. I mean, of course, we got David Chung, who's with us here, and I'm really excited about LibroLoop because I haven't really heard too much about it other than just like a little spiel here and there. But why don't you tell us a little bit about it, David, if you don't mind?
Yeah. The way you can think about it is like a distributed buy-sell marketplace for books, media, and beyond. And so a lot of people in more rural parts of the country, they have less access to books or just access to like super geo-specific supply. And so the entire idea is connecting buyers and sellers in geographic areas to cut down on freight and then emissions, and hopefully keep books in recirculation while adding to benefit both sides. So I'm gonna workshop this. We just went live like last week, and we're still getting listings up, but I need to workshop it a little bit.
It'll be exciting to see the progress, especially come October, because obviously, as you know, that's a great time to network with people that are going to be there. Especially,
Absolutely,
there will be some bulk booksellers. I'm sure they'll be interested in. I'm assuming anybody. I mean, David. So, like, let's say somebody wants to get into bulk. I'm assuming talking to you about potentially getting a source of books is probably pretty valuable. So, that's really cool.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And then, I'll commit to it right now, but LibroLoop will be a sponsor of at Books and Beyond too. So
let's go. Okay, that's awesome. Can't wait to get the logo up there. Yeah, thanks. That's awesome. We're really excited. Awesome. Wow.
Yeah, what a great idea, David.
Reezy
together, serving.
What's up?
You're not going to room David with Reezy now, right? Or was it Bill? Was he with Bill?
Oh, Reezy? Reezy?
Reezy's with me.
Yeah, Reezy's with you. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Yeah, grateful for that. That's awesome. Okay. And then we got, of course, Caleb Roth. So I've been doing a lot of talking. Avery, you want to talk about Caleb or anyone else?
Yeah. Or maybe me and Bill can tag team it, but Caleb got me into the game. Speaking of Oklahoma, we were kind of crapping on it earlier. I think, was it Oklahoma or Kansas? Anyway, where's Tulsa? Tulsa's Oklahoma, right?
Oklahoma.
Yeah. Honestly, I can say like one of the biggest things that really like influenced my journey was reading a blog post from Caleb years ago that him and his wife went to Tulsa. They drove from Denver, and they claimed they made $5,000 profit scanning books in like a weekend. And it just blew my mind. After meeting Caleb, I don't doubt it. I've even done trips with him where we've probably done over 10,000 in like a couple of days. But he got me into it. He started doing these events called Turn the Page, which if you guys read my email that I just sent out with ChatGPT, you guys would see that I was talking about Bill down here. that I met Bill in person, didn't know who he was, and it was because Caleb was throwing these events for booksellers to come to. And me and Bill talked. I was like, who's this weirdo? Turns out he's one of the biggest Amazon sellers, brilliant mind, he's an OG. And then it's all because of Caleb that I met all these people. And I could pull out a sheet of paper and I could write line by line over the last 6 years, 7 years, all the major impactful things that happened in my business and what saved me, and almost everything that saved me in like the first 3 years. And you could probably extrapolate that to the rest of the time too, was from turn the page events, literally from going to these in-person book selling events. I met some guy doing $300K a month in textbook sales. That changed my mindset to textbooks. I got my account shut down, and then somebody let me sell in their account for many years, and that saved me. And just on and on. And he invited me to speak at the event, paid me $60 cash one time. I felt honored, slept on the floor. And yeah, I don't think Books and Beyond would exist without Caleb.
Oh, definitely not. No.
Because of the turn the page events he used to do. And that he inspired me to do Miami Sellers Conference. So super pumped to have him there. And I didn't even mention a lot of other accolades. Bill, do you want to take over?
That's where you and I met too, Avery, back in 2018.
Phoenix.
That was my introduction to the entire book world.
Yeah. I mean, and he had been a seller for like what, 5-7 years?
10 years, over 10 years.
Wow. Yep. And I mean, yeah, I can just say from knowing you as a friend, it's helped you so much having connections and from that, you know, like.
And that's why these events are just so vital, right? So it's like, to compound Avery's point. When I walked into the first turn of the page, I was, and we have had this conversation with Caleb a couple times, I was spamming the group a little bit, you know, and adding value and stuff with the greater vision that we'd take care of Caleb, because that's what Glenn and I did with Sell Back Your Book. And I introduced myself, and the first thing Caleb said was, "Oh, you're the guy spamming my group." And I go, "Yes, I am." Now, he could have said, "Get the hell out of here," and it would have been fair. Or he could have said, "We'll talk to you later." He's like, "No, when you got a few minutes, let's go talk. I want to get to know you and like figure out how we can work together and make some money together." So it was a stand-up guy, and years later, we did. And actually, I got to tell you, Avery was the kingpin of making that connection happen. So when I was a lowly nobody in the social media space, I was putting my names out there and talking to different people, and I get a message from Avery saying, and he said, "Let me connect you with my friend Caleb." And I go, "Okay." Now, no last name, no initial, no nothing. There's 100,000 million, whatever Caleb's in the world. I remember the day distinctly because it was the day of my uncle's funeral. Not to bring it down, but I remember the phone call, and he's like, he's like, "I'm driving across country. I can only talk to you between these 2 hours." So I'm sitting there like waiting for this call, and it was Caleb Roth, and I still didn't know it was Caleb Roth. So he goes, "Hey, this is Caleb. Can I talk to Bill?" And I go, "Oh, Caleb, hey." And even a few minutes into it, I didn't know it was Caleb Roth, like the Caleb Roth, the guy on, you know, and all these the big guy in the Facebook groups. So the point of all that is like, Avery, thank you again for making that connection, because you sincerely, you know, was able to take our business parabolic with the connections to Caleb and to you, and ultimately to David, and then to Joji, and on with all these bulk suppliers and different integrators.
And then Joji went golfing with Caleb, like
and Bill, both
Yeah.
Caleb. Actually, my introduction to Bill was from Caleb. So
yes.
Caleb's like, "Yeah, let's play golf." And then, oh, by the way, I brought Bill Martlink around. And again, I don't think at that point in time I had met Bill in person. I think I had seen you on interviews, but I hadn't actually met you. And yeah, we got to play a round of golf, which was just awesome, man. I mean,
and those times in person are super invaluable, right? Because like some people come off as like not the best presentation on social media for whatever reason. They misspell, they're a little gruff, everybody has a bad day. Some people are just like you know, but in person, like that all changes. And even to Avery's point, yeah, sure, I'm me. There's only one me. I'm authentically me.
Yeah, you're saying Caleb didn't make that
very charming, very loving, very, very knowledgeable. But
you're saying Caleb didn't make grammatical mistakes, and so
I won't even talk about that. But the point is when you go to these events, you can get tons of ideas, tons of network, tons of future opportunity, tons of friends to invest in later or to help invest in you. You never know what will come of it, right? Yeah. But you can't get that experience if you're not there. And all four of us have met each other several times in person, and we're much, much closer for that. Like we could do this weekly and it would never be the same as being in person. And like that, you just never know that opportunity that awaits you around the door at Books and Beyond 2025 coming at you.
October 10th through 12th.
Huh?
Yeah. I said October 10th through 12th. Yeah, that's a great pitch. Always.
I gotta apologize to Riley real quick. Riley's speaking, and the other day I went on this Instagram story post about how Hamzat was going to lose the fight against Dricus, and then Riley put money on Dricus like I did. I put $600 on him, and we both lost that money. So luckily, Riley only put $10. Sorry, Riley.
So that brings us to our next speaker, Riley Martins. I actually just interviewed him on my channel yesterday, but I'm not sure David and Bill.
All these interviews yesterday, today, tomorrow.
Yes, it's dude, we're pushing, man. We're trying to make it happen, right? I'm really trying my hardest to get people there. So, and again, showing up with all speakers is definitely one way to get the word out. But Riley, not sure if you guys know Riley, but he actually is based in Canada, and he owns a physical bookstore. He also sells online as well. He was actually at Books and Beyond last year as an attendee. So you guys definitely have talked to him, and so I'm sure you guys kind of know him a little bit. But he's going to be coming back as an actual speaker this year, and I think he'll just offer a unique perspective, because I think the only other person who owns a physical storefront is David, and then I don't know of anyone else that I know actually who's coming. Maybe somebody as an attendee, but
there's this one guy. I think his name is Ben, but I might be wrong. But he's from Washington.
Okay.
David might know him. Bill, you probably remember him. Redhead guy. He was at Chicago. He was asking to speak, but we're out of speaker spot.
He's not at a You mean like DC?
No, like Spokane, I think is where he's from.
Oh, actually, you might be right. Gosh, what is his name? His name
is
Ben.
He has a physical bookstore now, and I think
I know him. Yeah, he's tall.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
Is he coming?
Yeah, he's coming.
Oh, sweet.
He already got his tickets. So
because he stopped by Denver and chilled with me. I think I picked up his hotel room because he was like teaching me how to sell books on FBA.
Steven Girdner.
On FBA, he was helping you way back.
Back in 2018, because we weren't selling on FBA, and I was like, dude, teach me everything. I'll book your hotel room. And
nice.
I was giving him like all of our duds, and he was like scanning through them, pulling stuff out for FBA. And
he's still cranking. He did like $250,000 last year, and he's also got a physical bookstore, which I'm sure the profit margin on that's pretty high.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see. We also have a couple more speakers just to highlight. So
you want me to introduce Chase real quick?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and introduce Chase? Yeah.
All right. So there's a new generation of shirtless booksellers. I'm gonna pop my screen up there real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
After that sentence, that's an interesting. I don't know. So Connor's actually he reminds me a lot of me back in the day. And all these kids are young, dumb, and driven. And what I mean by dumb is they're just not old enough to have that much experience yet, but they're doing good. Like you can see their sales are up, and like Chase past 10K in just book sales. Looks like, I don't know what Connor's at now, but he did a screenshot of 4,500, and they're just like filled with testosterone and scanning books. And it really reminds me a lot of what I was like back in the day. And so there's Connor. I think all these guys are friends like in the DC area, Washington, DC. Here's Chase. He's really well spoken. He's going to be one of the speakers, and he's done over 10,000 a month in his first year selling on Amazon. So I'm excited to have him speak. I'm sure he's going to crush it. There's a special energy about a first-time speaker. So I'm excited for all these speakers we have speaking for the first time. And then we also got Devin. He's not a speaker, but I think he'll be in attendance. Do you know if he's in attendance? Do you know if Devin's coming?
I can check. I'm not sure if he's bought a ticket yet. But I can
check.
Let
me look at this. Like these guys are just like, they're just doing what other people are doing, but they're 10xing it, And so like some person's fine with a couple boxes a week, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm making a few thousand. And then these guys are just like, let's just 10x it. And I love it. And it reminds me of what I was doing back in the day. And Devin's 24, so he's been through more of the battles, but I can always see it. Like, and sometimes you'll meet an 18-year-old who's got a ton of experience, and they're like, how's this kid so smart? Turns out they started when they were like 13, flipping stuff. And so they really aren't that young. But I'm excited for this new generation of young bucks, and a lot of them will be in attendance at Miami Sellers Conference.
Yeah, the diversity is key, right? I mean, one thing that we wanted is, I mean, when you do look at Books and Beyond, for example, we generally tend to have an older audience or population just because the content that's been put online, it's kind of aged for some time. And we generally just have people in the 30s, 40s, 50s, but we didn't, at least on my YouTube channel, I get like 0 viewership from anyone under 25. And even though I'm 31.
Because most people don't want to make money at that age.
Yeah. So,
and especially books on Amazon is like kind of like it's not the forefront for younger people.
So I think it's really good to have some younger people come in. Obviously, good to have women coming in, just people of different background. Just because I really do genuinely believe that if you see somebody doing it who looks like you, then you have more belief that it's possible. And so that's what we want Books and Beyond to be. So
yeah, and it's like everyone's going to be together, and the energy is palpable. Like I can only think of, after doing all these events over the years, I can only think of like a handful of, like one time for sure in my brain where somebody was like upset with the experience. It was because they were like underage at a bar and like it was like a public venue.
Yeah, that's not good.
We're actually pretty cool, and he does like almost $1 million a month. So like he got value out of it.
Yeah,
he figured it out.
Good.
But one of my favorite parts about doing these events, and Joji does a lot more with Books and Beyond than I do, is just stepping back after it's all kind of like done and like the after party's happening, and just seeing all these groups of people getting together. And sometimes the groups mix. Sometimes it's the older ladies with the younger guys. Sometimes it's a group of, I don't know, like online arbitrage sellers, or sometimes it's like the bulk book sell. Like usually they all commingle like different times, and just like seeing like it click in everyone's brain, or even seeing like, I like inviting all the speakers and seeing like 2 speakers that I thought wouldn't get along, all of a sudden they're like really talking for like an hour.
They're like making out.
Yeah, they're making out in the corner, and I'm like, whoa, like, you gotta chill out here, guys. But seeing all this, and what was I about to say? You threw me off with the making out comment.
Way to go, David.
I think what we see is like literally people's limiting beliefs breaking, and you can see these connections being made, and they're gonna likely last, hopefully, till the next year. And I think it's where true breakthroughs are made is at in-person events. And I think sometimes people just don't have the emotional connection with the internet that really makes them believe they can do it. And so I think the number one gift you can give yourself is going to an in-person event, even if it's not our event, and meeting people that are doing better than you. And it just unlocks that in your brain,
Here's the thing, too. You never want to compare yourself to other sellers, because there's always going to be someone bigger, badder, faster, better. It doesn't matter, right? On the other hand, you're going to leave this event coming out of it inspired, refreshed, and like ready to crush. 4th quarter, 5th quarter, 6th quarter, every quarter. See, it was going to be a clip, and then I screwed up the quarters. But 4th quarter, 2026, and beyond.
Yeah.
And it's just natural, right? People's energy is going to rub off on you, and you're going to learn, and you're going to help teach, and you're going to all level up together. So it's just a great event. And besides, like, if that's not enough for you, let me tell you just a 5 second, just a 5 second little, just a 4, okay, 3 seconds of downtown Las Vegas. It's freaking nuts.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I never had been till your event last year, Joji and Avery.
Yeah.
And I've been to Vegas like 15 times in my life. Finally ventured downtown. Oh my gosh. A whole new level of, I can't even explain what's going on. I can't wait to go back. So there you have it, folks.
Yeah, just a lot of great points you guys all brought up. And I think when we think about conferences, people always think about work. What value am I going to get out of it? Because you are spending money. It is an investment. But the unique thing about this is it's also just a ton of fun. And I don't know about you, but in my day-to-day life, when people ask me what I do, I'm kind of like, oh, I'm a bookseller. They go, oh, okay. So wait, do people still read books? Or like, I thought everything's going digital now. And there's like not any energy around me where I live, versus when you come to an event like this, everyone there sells books. And everyone's excited that, Bill sells books, David sells books, and Avery. Like it's actually fun, right? It's not
Cool.
It's not just for business, but it's also for fun as well. Like there's that entertainment aspect of it. And is this tax deductible, guys?
Of course it
100%.
100% tax deductible. So
everything. I mean, maybe there's a few things if you get into the wrong. I'm not not a judge, I'm not a jury, I'm not a tax man. But I would say 99% of the things you do in Vegas are write-offable. There you go. Oh, Johnny, Johnny's to be back. Johnny. Awesome.
Joji, you got a goal of 100 students and passing 100,000 in sales a year, right?
Yep, that was Victor and I. That was our goal, and it seems like, especially in August, we're having people almost by the day, like, sharing screenshots of 100K.
Are you guys keeping track?
We are not keeping track, but we definitely have we definitely have a long way to go, for sure.
Yeah.
I would say at this point that we know that people have reached out and told us at least 10, but I'm sure there's some out there that haven't told us. And also, as I would say, we are coaches in the way, like, we do try to motivate people and try to get people there. But at the end of the day, it also takes action on the part of the person, right? I mean,
yeah, that's like the biggest thing. That's kind of why I was asking the question, is like, when I really sit down and like think about what is going to get someone results. Like, I've done high ticket coaching. I've charged $3,000. Like, what is going to get this person from point A to doing 200K a month on Amazon the fastest, like true full-time, like they've really made it. And I can't think of anything better than an in-person event. Like, it's always like the number one thing. And then what's even better than that is like a group of people that they're connected with, which comes from the in-person event. And that's what like emotionally allows them to like give themselves permission to keep pushing. So I think from the perspective of like, let's get these people results, let's get them to the next level. Like, I'm like, you're probably not going to make it. Like, you just don't understand what this is and like what people are actually doing until you see a room filled with 100 people all doing big numbers, until you see someone 3 years younger than you or 10 years younger than you or 20, whatever it is, doing like astronomical sales like that. That's like Bill says, don't compare yourself. I kind of disagree. Like, I think it's kind of impossible not to compare yourself. Maybe don't try to stay away from the negative emotions. Like, that's a whole nother topic about how to zen out. But something happens when you see someone just doing crazy sales that you believe they're at your status or lower, that it just like, it makes you make that shift. And so
that part's inspiring, and that part can help motivate. Yes. But on the other hand, like, when you are at just starting out and you want to like take a shortcut to get to like $100,000 a month, like, there is a process. There are no easy paths there. There are simple and repeatable steps you can do. So that's all I mean. And it's
definitely like a topic we talk about for a really long time.
Sure.
But
so many people make it look easy, and I could tell you all the mistakes I made, as all the other three of us could do the same.
I think what fixes it is assuming you're dumber than everyone and that you have to work harder. And then like when you see someone, you don't come up with the excuse of, oh, they're smarter than me, blah, blah, blah. It's already there. And so then it's like, okay, they're smarter than me. Like, what can I do? And then you have to just work harder, something like that.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we just got to take action, because ideas are cheap. And the four of us have all been very successful in life at seeing an opportunity and figuring it out, and not always going this direct straight path, because there is none, but along the way, as we get knocked down, to dust ourselves off and to keep going. And if we can help inspire other people that same way, to say, oh boy, learn from your mistakes, pick yourself up, keep going, believe in yourself, you can do it. If that's what we can help compare, and people could compare themselves to us in that sense, great. And I'll talk your ear off on all the problems and mistakes I made, because again, they were small bets, and as all we did, the rest of us did. So anyway,
is there time for me to just chime in on my thoughts on live events and all that?
Obviously, go for it, man.
So
you're here, buddy.
So the best ROI, I think there's a better ROI than putting your business profits into inventory, and that's putting your business profits into yourself and investing in yourself. Ooh. And for folks like us, Avery, in the last 3 to 5 years, how much would you say you spent on workshops and training programs and just investing in education and experiences that enrich yourself and like help you grow as a professional?
If you include my $10,000 loss for Miami Sellers Conference, which I include education for myself, I do these events to learn too. Probably like 35,000, but probably 25,000, maybe 15 to 25. I'm not exactly sure, but a lot.
For sure. And I mean, it's the same for all of us here on this call. It's like we have to constantly invest in ourselves. And ironically enough, I'm going to be going to a workshop that Avery, you and I talked about right before Books and Beyond. I'll be in Vegas that week going to another workshop that I spent $5,000
Yeah.
to attend. And so, and why am I doing that? It's not because 5,000 is nothing for me. It's still a meaningful amount. It's because I realized that the more I invest in myself, the more ROI I'm going to get in every aspect of my life, in all my different businesses. And so just not being afraid to take that leap of faith, or just like kind of taking that big step forward and investing in yourself and knowing that that payout will come is huge.
Yeah. 100%.
Well said, David. Well said.
Yeah, very well said. We have Fluffy Colors. If you had to give a new Amazon bookseller just one piece of advice to not quit, what would it be?
Don't quit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That.
honestly, it's just
Exactly. Don't
Yeah.
quit.
Well, I keep harping on the same point, but it's get a group of friends to where you kind of feel crazy for not doing what they do. And I guess maybe this circles back to what Bill was saying. And Caleb always early on, like in his content, would talk about this concept of like, you have to know when enough is enough. And I could tell he was making a ton of money. And I'm like, dude, I'm living in my car. I'm trying to fucking like get to like $3,000 profit a month. I don't give a shit about enough. Like, let me just get some more money. like, so that's one aspect of it. But then I've been at the point now where I think I do compare myself in an unhealthy way sometimes to those around me. But it's now my 5 friends that I choose to compare or the 5 people I choose to compare myself to are doing so much revenue and profit each year that like, I kind of feel crazy if I'm not like at the $500,000 profit mark, just because everyone else is there, which would have sounded crazy like, 5-6 years ago. But now it's like, wait, what's wrong with me? And then I'll go to family gatherings or whatever, and people are slaving away at jobs 8 hours a day, and I'm like, this is so crazy, these 2 different worlds we live in. And so whenever I get like upset and down that like I had a bad month or whatever, I'm like, okay, I'm probably like unhealthily comparing myself to like a standard, and that's a trade-off you're making. But I would say like the number one thing you can do to like not quit is make it seem like unreasonable to quit. Like, I think people just fall in the societal standard of what's around them and what's expected of them. And when your whole network is people selling on Amazon or entrepreneurs or whatever, like, it's weird to have a job. Like, it's very strange. I've never worked a job, but it's very strange to think about going to apply for a job. Like David was talking about, it's kind of like a weird, cool thing to like think about. Like, oh, what would it be like to get a job? Like, you've worked a job, Joji, and I think Bill.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I was a high school teacher for 7 years. I know what that's like. And before we went live, David asked me, so how does it feel not to have to go to school on Monday and have control of your own time? I'm like, it's really just it was a super bizarre experience.
Yeah. Dude, you're one of the hybrids that was able to do both. And so you come from a completely different perspective. I think your perspective actually resonates with way more people because I never worked a job, and but now at my stage, I'm like so weirded out by the idea of doing it. And like the idea of quitting is just like not even acceptable because I have so many friends doing the exact same thing that's making them tons of money. So the idea of quitting is just not there. And like, if you don't have any friends and all this is to you is like the weird side hustle that your family makes fun of, and that your friends kind of like, oh, like whatever, good luck, you're just going to look at it as like this like low value thing that's like, it's a gamble. But if everyone around you is like making money, and like if you can surround yourself with at least 2 or 3 people from Books and Beyond, and maybe you're not even close with them, maybe you just follow them on Instagram and keep up with them, but you met them in person. And I think that's the biggest thing you can do. And I'm not just saying that because I throw events. Like, I truly think that's like the number, like, I think that's the secret to success.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say the only way you fail is if you quit. So I think Bill said it great, which is that when you make mistakes, you learn from them. And so every time you make a mistake, as long as it's in a learning experience and you change your behavior, then you'll get a different outcome. And I just would say that, it's going to be bumps along the way. It's always going to be harder than it seems. But the more people you have around you to support you, like especially if you do go to Books and Beyond,
like a mix of friends. You have one friend that's like doing terrible in entrepreneurship. You have one friend that's doing fucking amazing, and like you just have like all these mixes. And so whenever you're at like any phase, you're like, oh well, so and so's here, Joe's here, or so and so was there 2 years ago, and then it's like normal. But if you don't have that, you just feel like a freak by yourself, going in debt, doing this thing that people say online should make you money, and it doesn't feel real. So,
and that's the only reason why I said not to compare yourself to people. Like,
yeah,
yes, to help you inspire yourself and to help you figure it out, you want to compare yourself to people, because you're right, you're spot on, Avery, with your assessment of it. So there's two ways to look at it, and I'd say a balance of that, because you can a lot of people can get easily caught up in the sense of like, wow, look at all these people, what am I doing wrong? And then it spirals downward, right? So as long as it's an uplifting experience, then great, go for it, and have that collection of folks around you that can help bring you up, answer your problems, be that support community, etc. But again, just like small bets, methodical bets, data.
Very good. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen again, just so people also know what the pricing is going to be. So Books and Beyond is going down 51 days from now, October 10th to 12th. Again, we picked Las Vegas for a reason that, one, it's just an awesome environment there on Fremont Street. It's just a great place to be, but also it's literally like the cheapest place you can fly into and have a hotel with multiple nights. So we did it for the atmosphere, to try to keep costs as low as possible for everyone who comes. And so if you're somebody out there wondering if it really, the investment, like David said, is worth it, right, in yourself, well, just pick up the general admission package. It's $497, and that's going to include both the Saturday and Sunday all-day event. So basically we're going from 9 a.m. all the way to about 5 p.m. There's going to be a bunch of speakers, going to be a bunch of panels. You'll get a network again with individuals there. On Saturday, there will be a lunch. So lunch will be provided for you on Saturday. And last year, the food I thought was pretty good, which is a benefit. It's not just like pizza. It's actually an actual nice meal, which is great. So there'll be meals
I heard you say 5 p.m. It's Vegas. It's got to be 5 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Now, there are after parties as well, and a lot of people do get tons of value out of the after parties because of the fact that this is when it's sort of unstructured time where you can literally go co-mingle, go talk to anyone that you want, and it's definitely going to be an awesome vibe. So on Saturday night, I think it's starting around 6:30 to 7 p.m. until about 10 p.m. We're going to actually be on the Binion's pool deck. So we're going to be on top of Binion's Hotel. You get almost a 360-degree view of Las Vegas at nighttime, which is just going to be an awesome time. And that's a great place where, there's also going to be food there. There's also going to be drinks. Just a great place to, again, network with individuals. Now, the after parties are obviously going to be an extra charge because you are getting that, access to people like Bill and David and all the other speakers as well. And also, again, there'll be food and there'll be drinks there. So, we need to pay for that. So basically every after party, there's one on Saturday and one on Sunday. Every after party is an additional $200. But what I would say is if you do really want to invest in yourself, at least just come to the conference. It's $497. But again, it'll be 2 days. It'll honestly feel like nonstop, just nonstop learning, nonstop talking to people. And I forgot to mention on Friday, when everyone comes in, we will have a free networking event where you can basically just hang out and also kind of chat before the conference, which is also a lot of fun. And I don't know about you, Avery, but I almost lost my voice just Friday night, which is kind of crazy. So it's going to be just a lot of fun.
I say, you got to pace yourself.
Yeah.
I lost my voice this year at Miami, during the warm up, practicing for the event.
Yeah. So we got someone who also read Profit First. They said check your numbers every 10th and 25th of the month. Yeah, that's actually, so awesome there. But I think we've had a good time here. I mean, I'm happy to continue the conversation, also wrap it up. Just kind of depends on how you're doing there. But let's see. Fluffy says, how has selling books on Amazon changed your life outside of business? Time, lifestyle, or confidence? Well, I can say for time, for sure, right? Because I was a high school teacher, and then book selling enabled me to buy my time back because, books through college allowed me to pay off my debt. And like Bill mentioned, most people have debt after college that's going to take 10, 20, or 30 years to pay off. So that bought a bunch of time back. So that changed my life in that regard. And then also, as I was a high school chemistry teacher and also flipping books, I was basically able to live off my income from flipping books, invest all of my money that I made from teaching, and it helped me sort of, technically retire early, but, I'm still working, but I'm working because I choose to work, not necessarily because I need to. So
I think you end up working way more when you're an entrepreneur just because you want to work all the time or you feel like you need to.
Yeah. That's also something I learned because as David knows, you guys interviewed me with Stacking Habits, is that in the beginning, I was really into like retire early, retire. I don't want to do anything. In reality,
Yeah.
as time has gone on, I've realized that it's not that I didn't want to do anything. It's I wanted to do what I wanted to do, which is, you know, spend every day and every hour in a project that makes me excited. And even though teaching was a lot of fun, there's aspects of teaching that would just drive me insane. And so even though the net overall was positive, it's like the best case scenario was 100% control over my time. Where at Bill 9 a.m. on a Monday, it's like that's Joji and my Maya and my kid and my kid's time. That's so
100%.
That's the fun part about entrepreneurship, though, right? Like when you start out, you trade time for money.
Yep.
You have all this time and you try to get some money. And then if you become a success, you can then trade your money to save yourself time. You can, buy a jet and get places quicker. You can buy a helicopter. And I'm not helicopter or jet worthy. I'm just saying, like, these are like, you can pay someone to mow your lawn. That's an easy one, right? $30 a week, $40 a week. Like, cool. Okay.
I'll still cut my grass.
Right? You can get somebody to clean your house. You could get somebody to do whatever. These are little steps you could do. But like, you could trade money back for time and help save some time and increase the quality of your life. So it's a nice circle, but it's got to work out. So
for me, the biggest thing outside of business that working for myself, this business has allowed me is just building a great community. I was fortunate enough. I got married last year, and I had 2 bachelor parties. I had one with my high school and college friends, and then I had one with all my book friends. And by far, the book friends one was it was more of an adventure. I would say they're equally fun, but Avery was there, and so just like building this community, around me of people that I trust and that support me, and just having someone like when you're going through tough times to be able to reach out and know that they know exactly what you're going through. They know that the hardships of running your own thing. So
100%.
Yeah, well said. Funny comment here before we kind of head on out. Johnny Flip says, "How much for Bill to clean my house?" At this point in his life, a lot of money, but earlier
it depends
in the
on
days,
whether you want him fully dressed or in a French maid outfit.
It's more for not fully dressed.
Yeah.
I will say everything has its price. So let's talk in Vegas.
That is true. Everything does have its price.
I'm not an entrepreneur.
Someone asked about crypto.
I'll clean toilets. I'll do whatever. I don't care. Oh, yeah.
Someone asked about crypto. How bullish or bearish are you guys on crypto? We'll clip this in 10 years.
10 years.
I'm curious to hear Joji's thoughts because you're a pretty rational guy.
Yeah. So for me, I thought that the most guaranteed way to wealth was what has historically worked over the last 150 years, which is investing in the top 500 publicly traded companies and buying, dollar cost averaging the whole way, never selling, and just having the mentality that there has never been one time in history where the stock market didn't recover after a crash. And so as long as you can kind of weather the storms long term, that's the most for sure thing. Now, you could also kind of say the same thing about like Bitcoin, for example, right now, right? Because I do believe Bitcoin, I don't keep up to on a day-to-day, and I actually don't invest in any cryptocurrencies as of right now. But I'm pretty sure that it is pretty high right now, right? So you could also kind of make the same argument for Bitcoin, but also it's kind of a newer asset class. So for me, it's like I'm okay taking the more conservative and sort of guaranteed approach. Now, of course, sure, if we took 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand, threw it in Bitcoin and let it ride, like, what do I think is likely to happen long term? I would say there's probably a decent chance that it does do well, but for me, it's like this is enough. So that's kind of my mentality on it.
What about you, Bill?
Yeah, I think long term, certainly S&P 500 and Bitcoin, like 2 asset classes that'll go up. But I do think, especially Bitcoin, will have some rocky waves. I'm not one to like time the market. I'm not that person. So it's more of a when, not if. But if your head is in the sand and you can withstand looking at your portfolio, seeing a giant drop and a long sustainable drop for a bit, you just got to like shuffle that noise out the window and say, okay, I'm thinking 5 years, 10 years, almost like lock yourself out of access to the account. Just give the keys to somebody else. Don't sell it. Don't do anything.
Yeah.
I remember my dad in like the late 90s saying, oh, we should buy some Microsoft because they're never going to go away. And like, if we put in 5,000-10,000, and like I talked to him the other day about it. I'm like, did you ever sell it? He's like, I got it. I'm like, oh, okay, good. I don't know what he put in, but he never sold. He had that foresight. So like, great. But like all you have to do is have that mentality, because they had their ups and downs along the way. But yeah, so long term, I think that'll be okay. And S&P, no brainer there. So although I do think it is quite high right now, of course, long term, we'll look at in 10 years, we'll look back and say, wow, it's only 6,500 or 6,300, whatever, or 630 for the SPY.
Someone's mad at you in the comments. They're saying they put $200 in 2012 and are worth 8 figures now. You got to come to Books and Beyond then, man.
There it is.
What about you, David?
I was going to say, this is not investment advice.
Yeah, it's not investment advice at all.
Yeah,
Right.
Thank you for that disclaimer.
Yeah, don't take, especially for me. Thank you.
I'm bullish on crypto long term. I don't think it's a great vehicle for retirement right now. Like if your time horizon for retirement's anywhere in the next 40 years, I think you're much better off through diversifying through, blue chip or index or real estate or whatever. But I think crypto is like kind of like Forex. It's a nice way to hedge your cash and your assets. And so, yeah, I personally don't own too much crypto, but I wouldn't be opposed to revisiting it in Miami and putting my money where my mouth is. Before actually, we'll go to the roulette table, put it all on black, spin it, and then we'll roll that all into Bitcoin.
Yeah,
that worked for you last year, David. So I remember I still got my $2 dividend or $5 dividend from being around the table. So David was handing out Lincolns like it was going out of style.
I'm bullish on it just for the clip. If I do clip this in 10 years, I think it's going to go to 500K plus $1 million. I think 4X is realistic, but the idea of 15, 20 or more is crazy, And the number one thing, at least in my head right now, is like the IRS can suck money out of all of our accounts at any given time if they want to for XYZ. And with crypto, it's like yours. But I'm also in the group if I realize it can go down to back to 50K or 20K or whatever. So I think it's going to be a long, wild ride. But it's definitely something to consider. Like it's a big topic of our, generation. So,
yep. These are definitely conversations that happen at Books and Beyond as well, just so everyone knows. And again, thank you to David. Thank you to Bill. Of course, thank you to Romer, even though that you're co-organizer. But thank you so much for being here, guys. Super excited to have you at Books and Beyond as speakers again. And yeah, everyone, you can go to booksandbeyondcon.com if you want to, grab yourself a ticket. But I think we're going to head on out. Sound good?
It's an honor. At Bill Martlink.
See you in Vegas.
All right. See you later, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.